Hello and welcome to this latest in our podcast series, a special edition, a filmed edition, which is also going out as part of our virtual events to give you the best possible sense of what life is like at the Abbey. I'm here and I'm joined by some of our sixth form who are going to explain what their experience has been like. And in a moment, I'm going to go down the line and ask them to introduce themselves. I'll start. My name is Willa Fleming and I'm the head of the Abbey School.
I'm Liv and I'm hoping to go on to study business at university.
I'm Maddie and I'm hoping to do war studies at university.
I'm Mira and I'm hoping to do PPL, which is philosophy, politics and law.
I'm Kieran and I'm hoping to study PPE at university.
I'm Jessie and I'm hoping to study psychology at university.
Thank you very much, everyone. All right, we're going to discuss some of the things that you all think about and some aspects of your experience here at school. And we're going to start with a really important question, I think. We know as a school how much you invest in and are passionate about causes and about engaging with the world in that sense. So what I wanted to ask is, how important have causes become to you, those kinds of things you can get engaged with during your time in sixth form? And how have we as a school helped you to explore them and perhaps to express them to a wider audience?
Well, I can say that for me, I have become much more interested in the causes of the world and what's happening in the world, not only as I grow with age, but also as I've grown in the sixth form. And the sixth form has helped me so much to understand a lot of different things, whether it's about the issues inside of school, whether it's about issues outside of school and how I can help. So I think it's been really great to develop all these interests and also, likes in the sixth form.
Yeah, I think like the opportunities that you have get more frequent in sixth form. I think it's more about the real world and it's kind of not shying away from difficult topics. Really being able to get immersed in things like amnesty and really having control over what you're interested in. And so there's no kind of teacher-led things. If you really are interested in something, you're free to go and explore it with your friends and do things in assemblies, and it's a good opportunity.
Yeah, I was going to mention Amnesty because I didn't really know much about it before I joined the sixth form, but then we've got Amnesty Club, which is completely run by students, and so we did a newsletter, and so we were able to pick a topic and write about whatever we were interested in and then share it, which was really, really cool.
Also, I found that in sixth form, there's loads more discussions in the lessons. So about stuff that's going on in the world, you find out how your subject relates to recent news and all that, especially in psychology and English. You just learn about history and you learn about differences in people, which is really interesting.
I think, Amnesty was also really good because it helped promote student independence. And I remember last year we set up a fundraiser for the Hygiene Bank, which was this charity that works with hygiene poverty. And I thought that was really cool because we're in sixth form. It was the teachers didn't have anything really to do with the setting up with it. It was just, we found a charity we really liked. We found a way and made a plan to think about how we want to support this charity, and the students planned it ourselves. So I think the independence of sixth form is really good for helping you get involved with causes because you just entirely plan the whole thing on your own. Yeah.
And I know there's a huge amount of student leadership and lots of people in the sixth form get involved with that. Is there that chance there to interact with younger students as well and to help kind of give them, feel you can have an influence on them?
Yeah, definitely.
Less so during COVID.
Yeah.
Which was a shame. But before, I remember us being involved in Amnesty Club in year 8 or something. Yeah. We did a couple things with them. So hopefully that we can continue to do that in the next months or...
Yeah, even this morning we had a kind of a talk with, what year was it? Lower 5, upper 5. And we were kind of doing a round table open discussion about the everyone's invited issue. And it was really nice to kind of get involved and talk to them and get to know them. And even the officer roles like house captain, you get really close with the younger years and you get to form really nice relationships. So it's really good.
That's fantastic. It's lovely. Okay, one thing we want to talk about today is you all faced a big choice, right? We have 2 curriculums in the sixth form. We have A-levels, so you can do 3 A-levels, and alongside that you can either do a 4th A-level or maybe an extended project qualification, an EPQ, or you can make the choice to go for the IB diploma program. And there, of course, you get to study 6 different subjects across a range of interests, and you study things like theory of knowledge and do creativity, activity and service as part of your lives. So how did you guys choose? First of all, do you want to say which one you're doing, and then what prompted you to choose it, and how are you finding it?
I'll go first. I'm doing the IB. And one of the main reasons that I chose the IB was because business management was only offered in the IB, and I knew I really, really wanted to do that. But I'd say I also didn't 100% know what I wanted to do in the future. Like, I didn't even know if I wanted to go to university. So having that range, I think, has really helped me kind of like determine what I'm interested in and what I want to go into.
That's really interesting. And hot off the press is an update there. Business management now in A-level.
Yes.
Available on both sides of the channels.
AQA, we've decided on the whatever it's called. Exam board, yes,
The
thank
exam,
you.
yeah. And great that you've been involved in that decision. That's fantastic. So obviously that's one thing that will have influenced you. What about everyone else?
I chose the A-level because at GCSE, I really loved maths and English, and I knew I wanted to study them at I could have studied them at IB and high level, but I wanted to study, especially for English, I liked the course because it was more focused on UK literature and British literature. And I thought world literature was interesting, but I think the focus of the A-level course was more appealing to me. But yeah, I think for me, it just came down to what you study in each subject. And the same was true for economics, which is my third A-level. Yeah.
I took the IB. I think for me, I've never really wanted to close my options, and I've always been interested in so many things. And even when it came to choosing a uni course, I love everything and I don't know what to do. And I think I never would have had the chance to decide war studies was the thing for me if I hadn't had such a breadth of so many different subjects with a language and maths and English and sports science. And I think it's just, for me, it was the perfect way to really understand what I want to do and keep my options open, a bit like GCSEs, but with subjects that I'm really interested in.
And we mentioned working with years 10 and 11, our lower 5 and upper 5. If someone was from those year groups asking you what should they do, they can't decide between A-level and IB, how would you advise them?
I mean, I'm doing the IB, and I would definitely advise them that if you don't know what you want to do yet, but also if you want the opportunities internationally, because that is one of the main focuses of the IB, is to get you to international unis all around the world. And also, if the person doesn't really know what their interests are most focused on, I think they should do IB. I love it, and I love my choice of it. It allowed me to understand that I wanted to do law and my love for law. So I am really happy I did it.
That's great to hear. And we'd always want people to do what they're passionate about and what they care about, right? So, and thinking which one can answer that the best might be what I'd hope to say.
Yeah, when I was choosing, I really didn't know what I wanted to do either. But I couldn't imagine myself doing a science because I don't love it. So that's why I chose A-level. But otherwise, I think IB is a great one just because if you don't know what you want to do, there's loads of opportunities. But so I also chose English and maths, which because I loved my teachers and that helped. But also I'd advise not to always choose four-year teachers just because they change and different techniques teachers have. So yeah, but it definitely helped me just choosing the top ones I liked.
And we think that the IB and A-level, obviously when you're in sixth form, sometimes you have to work pretty hard and they're probably just intense at different times. Would you say that's fair? Are you going to come down on one side or other on the great is one harder work than the other debate?
People always say that IB is harder work, but that's just because we do coursework within the year more than, or everything is exam based at the end of the year, which works for some people and it works,
Yeah, it's almost a running joke in sixth form that the IB girls are always complaining about how much work they have to do.
I think we always are.
Yeah, we always I think it's definitely an investment and no one can lie about that. There's a lot of work. I have 3 frees in a week compared to, I don't know, A-levels, how many? You have 8?
Yeah, 8.
Yeah, so it's very different. It's similar to GCSE, so it's not a shock because you have never had that many frees in the first place. But I think there is a lot of work, but it's a bit of a misconception, I think. I think when you get overwhelmed and everyone around you is overwhelmed and it's wow, I've got so much to do, but really I know, and we all know that it's going to pay off and we're doing it for a reason. And it's such a kind of global thing that so many people are going through, and it's really going to pay off, I think.
And there's more structure, right? That's how
Yeah.
it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And they give you time to be independent within the IB.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they're both thought to be really good preparation for university.
Yeah.
I think but that's a nice thing, right? Wherever you
Yeah.
want to go, whatever you want to do, they're both great preparation.
Yeah, I wouldn't let it put you off if you think that's
I
too
think
much.
the only thing that changes workload is the time you have to do it in, and that's
Yeah.
why it's more pressure in the IB. But I think everything else, I mean, everyone in the sixth form is as overwhelmed as everyone else. I think it's just for IB, it's a rite of passage complaining, really.
Yeah, you have to complain. Otherwise
And there is that
you'll-
moment in May when you finished and A-level students
Yeah.
have lunch.
Exactly.
We'll get our
You are
holiday
looking
before
forward
you
to
guys.
Yeah.
Jealous of the holiday.
Okay, we've been talking about choices. So one of the key choices, right, is that one you mentioned at the start when you introduced yourselves. What do you want to go on to do next? So I'm going to ask you, what inspired you to make that choice? You know, did you talk to your family? Is it a career you've always been passionate about? Is it friends? Is it teachers who gave you advice? What went into you making your choice of what you want to study for your next stage?
So for me, I'm studying philosophy, politics, and economics, and the reason I found that course so appealing is because of how much debate there is in that subject. There's like in all three of those subjects, there's no right or wrong answer, and I think the thing that made me drawn to that is I started doing debating club in September of lower six, and I just fell in love with debating, and I thought I have to do a subject where I can debate a lot because I'm just so passionate about it now. And I've got a really strong interest in economics and particularly macroeconomics, so that ties in with politics a bit. And I just thought this course is right for me. It just felt so right. And I don't think when I was browsing other courses, there was another course that felt so like fit for me and I felt so interested in. So that's why.
I think what blossomed to make me decide PPL was the fact that, again, the causes, and I'm very interested in human rights law and everything we talked about at school, but also everything that has happened in the last 2 years made me realize how passionate I truly was about helping people that weren't getting help across the world. And so I guess I came to that conclusion. Yeah. So it was the passion of helping people.
Yeah, I think mine was a bit of a messy is the wrong word, but quite a chaotic journey to find war studies. I think I was between PPL and war studies at King's, the same as Mira, and I just thought, well, my extended essay for IB, it was all about conflict and the Taliban and the approaches to peacemaking. And I never once was writing it and wasn't interested in what I was doing. And I looked at the prospectus and I looked at kind of what I would be able to do if I took that course, and everything. I think you just know when it feels right, and you kind of I didn't read a single thing there and was like, I don't want to do that. Like everything was so interesting, and I feel so lucky to be able to study that and help people and have a future to do with that. So yeah.
See, I love that idea because it's got to be about finding that individual passion, and it's so nice hearing you guys talk about how that happened for you.
Yeah, I think it's all the same for us. Like, again, I'm incredibly interested in business and I want to make a difference to the world of work when I go into it. And I feel like it gives me kind of a lot, like a span of everything that I could go into, as in it still keeps my options open, hence why I chose IB kind of thing. But also in class, I'm currently doing one-on-one because I'm the only person taking business at IB. But I think that has really fueled my passion for it. And like, I have a really good relationship with my teacher and he's helped me a lot, which is really, really nice.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Well, I was unsure, but I think that because psychology is so open, that's the main reason why I chose it. And I don't know what it will lead me to, like what jobs there are necessarily, but just because I loved talking about it. Every lesson, it's so interesting what you find out about everything. And I volunteered with autistic children, and that inspired me because I find it really intriguing working with kind of different types of people and all that. And so that's the main reason why I wanted to go into psychology.
So what's so inspiring for us as teachers is to hear you guys talking about what you want to do, but talking about the causes you care about and bringing those together and seeing ways to make a difference in what you can do, which is fantastic. Okay, one of the things we want most as a school, one of our top priorities by a million miles, is for people to experience joy. Now, obviously, school can be hard sometimes. It's going to be hard work sometimes. So we know that everyone will have a range of emotions every day, but we want that to be the backdrop of their experience. So would you say that you've been able to find joy on your journey, and how you find joy within the school day? How does that work for you?
I think friends is a massive thing, and especially in sixth form, it's a very, I wouldn't say new, but the community feel in sixth form is like one massive family, and I would feel comfortable going up to anyone and talking to anyone if I had any issues, or if I just wanted to chat and I wanted to go and sit on the sofas or relax. And the relationship you have with your teachers, it's fun, and it's a fun experience learning, because everyone in the class with you wants to be there and everyone wants to learn. And so kind of there's always a way to find joy and happiness, and if you're having a bad day, it's likely that other people are having a bad day, so you can kind of rally together and get through it. But it's a really nice environment,
I think one of the things that has kept me happy and going throughout the whole of IB is the Friday dances after school. And in sixth form we have this very special thing that we can put music, and it just brightens up everyone's day, whether it's at lunch, after school, everyone just starts dancing. And it doesn't feel like a pressured school environment. It feels like a community. It feels like a family almost.
Yeah, I love hearing the music from the sixth form on Friday afternoons. I haven't been tempted to come in and start dancing, but I love hearing the music, and there you guys are. Fantastic. I guess I've got one last question just to go down the line. Now, really short answers if you can, because I think it's a really interesting question. I think some people are really interested about. How is it in the end life changes? So between the fifth form, when you're doing your GCSEs, years 10, 11, what changes when you go into sixth form? Can I go down the line and just hear like one or two ideas from you all about that to finish this off?
You get a lot more frees, and so time management is key. And even though we did say IB get less frees than A level, it's still, you have to know what to do with that time.
Yeah, definitely. I think for me personally, the relationship with my teachers changed massively, and how it's more of a kind of an equal relationship, and you put the work in and they give it back to you, and the fact that everyone around you wants to learn and everyone wants to be there is really nice.
The subjects become more interesting and they become part of your interests instead of being just a curriculum.
I think you learn more about yourself because you're self-directed, and you very quickly learn about how you work and what you want to do. So I think your relationship with yourself becomes stronger.
Yeah, definitely independence you get a lot more of because of the study periods and time to kind of decide what you do in your frees and expand your knowledge on each subject.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. Well, for us as a school, honestly, it's so inspiring to be sending you guys out into the world, not least because you're going to have amazing adventures, but also because we know you're gonna go out there and help be part of the change that's happening in the world and changing the world for the better, which is amazing. So thank you very much for your time today, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.